Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So I want to run you through scaling into positions following trends. So the whole point is to maximize your profits while following the trend. So you're relatively safe. You're moving with the wave of the market. You're not trying to fight it. And this is, I'm going to show you the way I do it. So this is using my methodology. It's very, very simple. There's there's nothing complex. We're just following the market and what the market tells us using pullbacks within trends. So let's just, for argument's sake, say we entered here. And this is based off real trades that I did call out in the Discord. But yeah, well, just for argument's sake, let's just do this. And this is, of course, replay mode. And after this demonstration, I can show you a real trade I've currently got open using this exact same logic. So long-term target, obviously important. We're just roughly planning the trade now. We've got this double bottom here. So let's just say this is our trade. So we've got this running, very happy. We placed the trade, we're all confident, We know the market's in a downtrend. I'm not going to tell you how to follow trends, I'm not going to tell you how to identify the trends, because I think that's quite simple. I think we should all know that by now. You can use moving averages, trend channels, trend lines, or just use your eyes. So we've got this position running, nice in profit, all good. So what we're looking for is a very clear push to the downside, and then we want to see a pullback. So let's wait until we see that. So pullback looks okay. So let's say we enter here. This isn't the strongest, and it's definitely not the safest. So let's just say that. So let's say this is an aggressive way to do it. So obviously this is very important. So when we're scaling into positions, there's two things that I have to abide by from my rules. Never scale into a losing position. And when you scale into a winning position, the initial position that you're scaling into has to be at least risk-free. And that way you mitigate risk. You don't want to end up having, 2, 3, 4, 5% exposure on one asset when you could have them relatively risk-free. So I'll show you how to do this now. So we've got the initial position and we've just scaled in. So what we want to do is just move our stop loss to break even. So now we only have, let's just assume that we're taking each trade at 1% risk just to make the maths easier. So we've got 1% risk on this total move now. Initial position has nothing, no exposure on that one. Oh, sorry, no risk on that one. It's just this secondary position has 1% risk taken. So let's just play through. Great move to the downside. And again, this is replay mode. I totally understand that this is, hindsight or whatever. But again, I did take these trades in the Discord, and I will show you a real example that I am in right now after this example. So what we're looking for is areas where the market could pull back to. So let's just keep an eye out. So we've had our move to the downside. It's very clear we're in a downtrend. So now we just need to wait for another pullback, which could be here. Let's just see. We could have scaled in there. We have missed that pullback though, which is fine. So let's just look for a bit of a deeper one here. Okay, so we are now back at our entry. So what I'm going to do after we had this bearish candle, what I'm going to do is move both stop losses. So our initial position, how do I grab that? Is it here? Yeah. So our initial position is now down at the entry point of our second position, and our second position is now risk-free. So what we're doing is scaling in again. Now remember, this is quite aggressive, and I am not expecting you guys to then go and be this aggressive in the live markets, but this is showing you how it can be done. And this method does work. So move to the downside happened. We are now in 3 positions with 1%, well, actually less than 1% risk. So let's just let this play out. Now remember, we may get stopped out, and that's the reason we trail our stop losses, is because this then mitigates our future risk. Great move to the downside. So again, we could then potentially look for another scale in if we want to. Now, personally, I wouldn't. At this point, I would just let it run to take profit. But just following the rules, we definitely can. And again, we can now look for a scale in. So now we trail our stop loss down. So we now got initial position in profit. Stop loss has now locked in profits. Second position, again, has locked in profits. Third position is now completely risk-free. Now we are scaling into yet again another position. So we play forwards and we let this run and we just leave our trades. We do, trail our stop losses, add in a position and leave it. We don't mess around too much. Let's just play this forwards. There we go. Okay, well, there we go. So can you see how easy that was? There was no, there was no breaks of structure, change of character, FVGs, any of that stuff. All this was doing was following the moving averages and looking at the RSI. So you can see on this pullback here, we had the RSI above 80. On this scale in here, we had the RSI above 80. And to say this one wasn't above 80, but it was fine. I was quite happy to take this one. It was aggressive, but again, I was personally happy to take that. So the result of this would have been 5.2 on the initials. That's 5.2, 4. So we're at about 11%, 13%. Yeah, so we got maybe around 15, 16% of this trade. Obviously not doing the exact maths, just a rough estimate. We got around 15, 16% of just one move to the downside by scaling in, keeping our risk minimal. So at this point, when we did scale in here, our risk was very, very small. So we had, this one was locked in at 1.7% profit. This one was locked in at 1.1, so that's 2.8% profit. This one was risk-free. So if this position was stopped out, we would have lost 1%. So it would have been 1.8% profit either way. And that's how simple scaling in can be, but how powerful it is as well. So again, like I said, I would show you this position here, which I am in currently. It's pound New Zealand, and you can see I've already got scaling going, and you can see, you may be able to see why already. I'll take a look. Can you see why I scaled in where I did? And it should be very obvious, especially if you guys have followed the strategy videos I've made following the Echo model. So we had this resistance here. I won't go over the initial entry and all that type of thing. I'm not here to show you my strategy. I'm just showing you how to scale in, or how I scale in at least. So yeah, we had this resistance here, which was very, very smoothly broken through actually. So what happens when we break through a resistance? I assume you're going to say we break and retest. Oh, well, generally speaking, especially if we're in a trend and we break through a resistance, it's very safe to say we will see a break and retest. And break and retests are a bread and butter of mine. It's a huge, it's a huge winner really. So we had the uptrend, broke the resistance, and we retested. But we didn't just retest. Can you see what I was talking about earlier with the moving average? We came down to test the 50. We came down on the RSI to around the 20 level. We scaled in once we saw a lack of bearish momentum on this bullish candle here. We entered in. And that's it. As far as I remember, actually, this was also a Fibonacci level, I think. No, it wasn't. I'm talking rubbish. Ignore that. It wasn't Fibonacci level. But that's fine. This is as simple as it gets. And again, with the risk, when I scaled in here, this position was risk-free. And guess where my stop losses are now? Now we are in very, very nice profit. Stop losses are here. So this position's break even. This position's got profit locked in. So if we pull back, which is very likely, as you can see, the RSI is now very overextended. We're very fanned out from the moving averages. So if we do come back, we will look for a scale in, maybe here. Who knows? And then again, we'll be completely risk-free apart from this position, which will have 1% on it. And that's fine. So it's simple. It's very, very simple. Don't let these gurus try and tell you that this, maximizing your profits or trading trends or whatever else it might be is a very hard thing to do. You don't need to buy the courses. You don't need to do anything. You just need to have at least 2 brain cells that work together coherently. And you need to be able to identify the trend, and you need to be able to tell yourself when to get out of the market if the trend changes or if the driving factors change. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to make it as clear and concise as possible. But if you do have any questions, just drop a comment or ask me in the Discord. Discord link is in the bio or in the description, sorry. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. And it's currently Thursday, so have a great week. Have a great weekend. And yeah, I'll see you soon.